Hi! Contrary to popular belief, I do exist in the real world, and not solely in a white void. Hence, I can interact with things. I can draw. Anyways, what is the internet? So what even is the internet? I know that you don't know what the internet is, don't lie to me. You think that the internet is just a bunch of signals going from one place to the other, which, fair, and the only thing you need it for is to send your Santa Reagan fan art after the Tumblr Sexy Men poll to your friends. Well, here's the thing, it's not that. The internet is basically just wires, a shitload of wires. So what's even getting sent over the internet? It's just a bunch of ones and zeros. You know binary, you heard of that? That's basically what this is. It's just like in the form of data and stuff. So this is like literally everything on the internet. It's your website, it's your code or whatever. The point is, this stuff matters. But how do we send these ones and zeros across? The answer is wires. Except that it's not wires, but it's normally wires. Now there are three different ways. There is radio, there is electricity, and finally it's light. First off, radio. Now radio, unsurprisingly, involves radio waves. Basically, you have a machine, and the machine goes ahead and sends out radio waves that can be transmitted to your device, aka your phone or whatever it is, and they will go ahead and take these radio waves and they will transmit it into the ones and zeros, hence transmitting the data. This is how music from radio stations works, or stuff like that. However, one major problem is that it has a very short range, which means that I can't listen to a radio station from across the world or something. The second main one is electricity. Now I know this may come to a shock to you guys, so maybe like hold on to your armrests, sit down before doing this, but electricity is fast. This means that when you use Ethernet cables to transport electricity, it goes very fast. However, there is something called signal loss that occurs, which basically makes it so you'll lose some of this important data along the way when you use electricity, over a long period of time. Therefore, it's only helpful in some situations. But hey, it's also really cheap, which is also good. The final form of transporting data is light, because I guess electricity wasn't fast enough. Now what you use is something called a fiber optic cable, which is literally just a cable of glass that was specifically engineered to reflect light. Now you send beams of light up and down and up and down and up and down this one cable until it goes and reaches its destination, in which gets converted into data. All of these different wires, waves, and machines are literally everywhere around us. There are wires under the ground, underneath the ocean, all of it meant for the internet. So that's how data gets sent. Now with that out of the way, let's deal with literally everything else. I'm going to explain this all like that one kid at group party saying, "Oh, you'll learn as we play," and go ahead and give an example while explaining absolutely nothing to you. Say I want to search up YouTube, because contrary to popular belief, I do have a job there. Now there are two things that we need to keep in mind here. The client and the server. Anything connected to the internet is a client. Your phone's a client, your laptop's a client, your Samsung fridge is a client. Then there's your server. Your server is basically just an internet service provider like Airtel or T-Mobile. The server is basically a cupboard with a bunch of websites inside. So you search up YouTube and the server takes the file of the hellsite in question and chucks at me so I can go ahead and procrastinate and wait one more week before releasing another video. One thing to mention is that the file for youtube.com is not actually like a file. It's more like an address. Your device also has an address. These addresses are called IP addresses, and they don't tell anything about you in particular, so next time someone on Discord says, "Oh, I have your IP address," they basically just have an email that's incredibly useless to them. Let's take another example. Me sending Thomas the Tank Engine X Lightning McQueen fanfic to my friend in, I don't know, Europe. So in this case, I'm telling the server, "Hey server, send this fanfic to my friend, here's their IP address," and the server looks at the IP address and then sends the fanfic to them. Now the fanfic is being sent in the form of data that gets converted back into the fanfic when it reaches my friend's computer. Now there's two ways of sending this data, circuit switching and packet switching. Circuit switching is hella inefficient. You're basically taking one whole line and like wire, and you're going ahead and permanently occupying it for the duration that you're writing your email or sending your email. Now, this means that nobody can go ahead and send anything to you or your friend in the process of this. It's slow, expensive, and very, very bad. It's called circuit switching because this permanent line that you have is called a circuit. Just envision it like you're sending one giant piece of data from here to here. That's a lot of work, especially for one line. The other way is packet switching, in which you go ahead and take your IP address and your friend's IP address, and you see all the different lines that go from here. You have this big piece of data that's your fanfic, and you're splitting it up into chunks. and these chunks are each individually getting sent to your friend, and then they all go ahead and reach your friend, and they reorganize into the big piece of data. It's cheap, fast, and efficient. Very, very good. And it's called packet switching because these chunks here are called packets. So when I'm sending this fanfic to my soon-to-not-be friend, I'm going ahead and using packet switching because it's the most efficient and the most common across the world. Alright, so we're almost done. We're going to go into a lightning round where I just answer some very common questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Question 1. How do you get hacked through having free Wi-Fi? Basically, you're sending your data from you to the server, and someone else can come in the middle of that, and they can go and rummage through your data and do whatever they want with it. End-to-end encryption stops the hacker from coming to the middle of it. Question 2. Why do we have internet outages? The server's being dumb and isn't working. Question 3. Does the inventor of the internet regret their decision? In an interview, the inventor of the internet says that he does not regret his decision to make it. However, he has not seen shipping in the Genshin Impact fandom, so can you really say he understands the ramifications of his invention?